Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Jenny, and today I thought that I would just work in this little men journal with y'all and try to finish it up. I did film a video trying to pick out the fabrics and put the spine together a few days ago. And yeah, if you're interested in watching that, I will link that video below. But for now, I thought we would just finish this up together. After I filmed that video later that day, I went ahead and thought I would make one of these fun bookmark dangles out of the spine. Is this not so cute? I mean, I do the charm dangles quite often, but I've never attached it to the spine and turned it into a little bookmark. And I saw Leah over at Thrifty Day do that, and I thought that is such a good idea and just so cute. So I just put lots of little boy things. I did put a couple of flowers, but they're like boyish colors. Cars and frogs and fish. A little dump truck. So cute. So I've already done several of the pages, or just went through and, stuck the things in. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to hop on here and finish it up with y'all. So obviously before I sewed in the signatures, I went ahead and stitched down any pockets or the little tabs, all that before I sewed the signatures in. So now basically I'm just filling up the pages and the pockets. That little boy on the scooter, so cute. Oh yeah, and I need to finish putting little buttons on the inside. So that's the first signature, and then, so I've already done those on the, I can't think, the middle signature. I just left the strings hanging, so I left them really long so that they'll be easier for me to tie, and then I'll cut them off. I'm using this, I'm not sure what it's called. It's a needle, a bead threader maybe. These are fantastic. My friend sent me this in Happy Mail, or she sent me several of them, but I love this thing because if you have like little tiny holes you can't get in, like see like this one, or that your thread, is too thick for, you just put that on and it just goes right through there. I think I'm just going to stick to buttons though on the center of the signatures. Oh, I didn't see this little, here's my little boy charms I pulled. I forgot about this little frog charm. That's so cute. Let's see. So I had some more buttons. I have a giant jar of buttons like over beside me. But I feel like I've already dug through those. Let's just see. I feel like this one would be too big. There's a little star or a flower. Yellow one's cute. I have some buttons. Yeah, I'm not going to dig through all of those right now, but someone last year had dropped me off at my door. They knew I did this, and they had asked me would I be interested in some, it was like scrapbooking papers. Actually, it was like a friend of ours that we actually haven't seen in a while. And I guess they had seen me share, well, no, I had made their daughter-in-law a baby journal for a gift, and maybe she shared that with them. Maybe they saw social media posts. I don't know. But her husband had been in a thrift store picking up a couch for his mom, and she messaged me and was like, hey, my husband saw he was picking up a couch for my mom and saw a lady that was donating a bunch of scrapbook supplies. He offered to help her take them in, and he was like, "Hey, I know someone who might want these." And I thought that was so sweet because it was her husband, you know. Anyways, I was like, absolutely. So they dropped them off at my door one day, which was fantastic. And it was like 2 or 3 iris bins, which that was fun to get for free, you know, the clear containers. And then goodness, I don't even remember now, like a couple of Rubbermaid storage totes. But anyways, everything was labeled and organized because this lady literally just donated the stuff, you know, straight in the containers. And it had several different, these little plastic baby food containers. She had sorted like different embellishments and stuff that I guess she used in her scrapbooking. The best thing, I think, money-wise that was in there was there was a ton of Stampin' Up. Most of it was 8.5 by 11, but it was Stampin' Up cardstock, and it was, you know, all separated by colors. So that, I don't know, that was just a fabulous blessing, you know, that day. But anyways, I went around the world to tell you that these buttons were in there. So I've just kept them in their containers instead of dumping them in mine because, you know, they're already divided by colors. So I could, I guess, dump them over into my little spice jars that I have little beads in. That's my favorite way to store little beads and buttons and stuff is I order like the 24 pack from Amazon of just the little glass spice jars. I'll show you. Like here's my little ring fasteners in here. But these are perfect to put embellishments in. And they'll fit on all of those little spice shelves, you know, that we all find thrifting and stuff. So, it's really early here. By really early, I mean, it's not that early. I've been awake for a couple of hours, but it's... Okay, I just looked at the time. It's actually not really early anymore. It's only 8:30 in the morning. I mean, it is 8:30. That's like later on in the morning. Now, if you'd have asked me that like 4 or 5 years ago, I'd have been like, no, that's early. But now, I'm old now and I wake up. Isn't that funny? Like, when you have kids at home, you don't want to get up before like 10, but you have to. But then when no one's here anymore, you're fine with waking up at 5 and 6. That's funny to me. But I thought that it was earlier. I feel that way because, oh, maybe I should have threaded this through all 4 of the holes instead of the 2. Anyways, I thought it was earlier because I really don't want to say it out loud because I don't want to be that committed to it. And once I say it out loud, I feel like I have to be committed to it. But I've kind of been doing the intermittent fasting a little bit and trying not to eat, you know, after like 5 in the evening. And I'm trying to wait till in the morning a little later to eat. So I have not had my coffee because I want to tell you, I put a whole lot more calories in my coffee than, well, I don't put a lot, but I put enough to break a fast. I'll say that. So, I don't know. Do we like the black and white? Okay, let me go back to these little buttons in this jar. Anyways, I have not had my coffee this morning. So, I feel like I'm dragging. I just did red. I'm liking these little plaid ones, but I don't know that I have enough to do all the spines. Let's try this green one. All the spines. Why do I keep saying spines? The center of the signatures. I think I'm going to do this. This is an old button here. This corduroy button. Let's see if this will go through there. See? That's fantastic, this little hickey madoosier. I saw my friend Lynette using that, making some charm dangles back last year. And I was like, how have I not ever heard of these things? Like, I have to have one of those. Okay. Y'all know what? Okay, I got to get some coffee. This is the last one, and I was trying to make them last. Let's see, 2, 4, 6. How many did I do? I only did 3 signatures. I was thinking I did 4. Y'all were probably like, girl, why are you pulling out 900,000 buttons? We'll see when I get it done if it looks silly or not with that one that one random green button. But you know, I feel like that's the fun and the freedom of junk journals is you can kind of do randomly what normally would be kind of hideous things, and somehow they work. Well, I'm not sure how that one's in there this time. So it's cool again. Back where I live, it was literally like 80 in the 80s last week, and now it's suddenly like 60, which I know that any of you who live up north are laughing because 60 is not that cold, but to us it's kind of chilly. Okay, let's see if I don't know if when I'm watching flip throughs of journals, I love it when people leave things hanging, but okay. Yeah, I could see that sitting on my bookshelf and being okay with that. So as I said in the last video, that I'm making these how I like them, and I may end up deciding to keep them. But if they sell, I'll probably go ahead and sell them. In fact, I've been saying over on Instagram, if you're interested in one, let me know. So they are for sale, but if for some random reason they were not to sell, I would be fine with keeping these to put all of my grandbabies' photos in. Okay. So I had already was well into almost finishing this up. But then I saw Diane Hubert. Is it Pretty Pink Cottage? Diane Hubert. Y'all probably know who Diane is. She did a flip through of some vintage books that she, the other day, after I'd started this, and the covers look so similar, I was like, perfect timing for this video, because this, I don't want to say this isn't my norm, but this is definitely not what I've been doing lately. I feel like these are more scrapbooky and just fun and eclectic, and lately I've been doing more, well, you know what, the inside of my journals kind of are always like this, but maybe I haven't been doing brights so much. I definitely haven't done these kind of covers in a while, but all these bright colors were kind of throwing me off because I've been doing like pinks and blues and pastels. But anyways, I just needed some ideas. So, because if you watch me, this is where you see how scatterbrained I am. When I started this process, I was going to keep it super simple, and I was working from a kit that I had purchased from Lynette like 5 years ago. And everything was ready for me, and I was going to keep it simple and do a one-day project, right? Well, no. That is not how I did this. I ended up deciding to add my own papers in with hers. I ended up thinking, I'm not going to keep it plain. I have to add tabs and trims, right? So, you know how I am. So I just had to overcomplicate this. So I had to pull out some stamps because we had to use the boy stamps. Anyways, Diane's video, she shared her flip throughs, and she had used a lot of vintage labels in there. And I thought, well, that is perfect. In fact, which Lynette had included a few random little fun things like that. And Diane had used one of these little, let's see if I can find it. It was just a little, you know, your bill is late kind of flyer sticker right here. She had used some of those. She had used popcorn bags. I meant to pull out a couple popcorn bags, but forgot. I may make like a little add-on ephemera package out of a popcorn bag and add some embellishments. That would be so fun. I think I might do that. But anyways, she just added some fun vintage labels, and I thought those are perfect for in here. I actually have one of the ones she shared, I think. So that's what I was going to look for. There's a saltwater fishing line label, but that would be fun in a beach journal. Ice cream bar label. Oh, I ordered all these like several years ago when I would, I can't remember. It was on, so Instagram. Is it Crafty Lisa's Vintage? And then Paper Harbor Co. That's who it was. She would always pop up these little flash sales. I think they still do that over there. And I would order just all these fun vintage little things. Like these are like tea or cigarette cards. But at the time I was so wanting to do some beach journals, so I remember ordering a lot of ocean type things. And I need to get on that after I finish this in Little Women, and after I finish my daughter-in-law's journal, and after I finish the other 2 cottage core journals, or 3, you know how that goes. Anyways, I started a ocean themed prayer journal back in, I don't know, August or September. So it's pretty much almost done. I need to dive in and finish that one. These come in some, my stepdad had brought home some just old stuff one day, old scrapbook type things, and I peeled these off of those pages. But I feel like these would be perfect in like my camping themed journals. We could do one of these little entree tickets. That would be fun in a little boy. Boys like to eat, right? Root beer. That would be so fun. Fresh strawberry sundae. I feel like I need to keep those for my strawberry journal. Well, okay, here's a pineapple one. But see, the thing about using these vintage labels that only have, you know, maybe 1 or 2 kinds of. When I do that throughout the journal, I feel like it kind of raises the price, you know. And the whole point was to keep these affordable-ish. But you got to keep in mind that these are, I'm probably never going to see these covers again either, so. There's a little pharmacy label. And I don't know why these little sticker Timu labels are in here. It's a honey. See, a lot of these would be cute in the cottage journals too, so. All right, let's get on it, doggone it. I think this little cola thing would be cute. Is this a cola penny roll? Is that a thing? Like a, you know, it looks like a coin roll. I bet it's just a label that would go around like that. Oh, there may be other kinds in here than just this. Y'all, I have not opened these ever, and it's been a lot of years. Let's just see. Oh my goodness, there's all kinds. These are so fun. These would be fun in Christmas journals. All right, we're going to stick one of these in here because, well, I don't know. I need to save these for something else maybe. I think I'll do a root beer label in there. And then, oh, here's a lemon soda. That's fun, but that would be fun in a summer journal. I'll think about that one, though. These are what Diane used. It was little peppers. Peppers, orange, soda labels. Okay, so there's only one. Oh, man. Oh, no, there's two. I think I have to use that. Or maybe this one. We'll decide. And I don't have a ton of these, so I keep these in this little cigar box. Just in case you are interested. So, maybe we'll make this video like using vintage labels in our junk journals. That would be fun. I guess you'll know if you clicked on it, right? Uh-oh, I kept the ice cream bar out, not intending to. This would be so much fun in a summertime journal, but I don't know. We'll see. Uh-oh, I forgot to put these back. I've also pulled some things out, like, so if you watch me, I've been saying for a few months now, I'm tired of seeing all this scrapbooky stuff floating around like 24 years later. So I'm trying to pull out some things and keep them around my desk and try to use them. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. Like, see, these like little tag packs, and these all probably come out of this tag pack, and these. But we could do Imagine in a little boy journal, right? That would be perfect. That leaves me with maybe 3 of those to use up. And then, of course, we have the fun vintage book page, you know, things that I've cut out. Well, some of them I've cut out. I found this. Looking for, I was shipping an order out the other day, and I was looking for a thank you card, and I found this in my cards, and I was like, oh my goodness, this has to go in this little boy journal. So I'm actually going to go and fix me a cup of coffee, and I'll be right back. Oh yeah, I'm back now. Fun fact, I didn't even love coffee until I was like older, like probably almost 30 before I actually got to where I would actually want it. And I still didn't fix it every day, but once I was around 40, I tried to not drink it for a couple days lately, and it was hard. It was really hard. Okay, so I thought about covering up the words on the back of, let's see, it would be over here, this little book page. I don't know, this little cat's name's Naughty George, though, I think. Yeah. And I could see reading this to a little boy one day, like, one morning Joy found him on the kitchen table dipping his paw into the cream jug. Naughty, naughty George, she cried, and shooed him out into the yard. So I feel like leaving some little storylines whoever purchases this may not even use it as a baby journal. They may use it as, they may love this book and use this as their personal journal. So obviously they can cover it up. But if it is like a child memory keeping kind of book, I think that would be fun to have in there. So let's see. Oh, I could get a milk cap with maybe the creamer thing and put right here. I was looking for a label. Let's see. Got these milk caps in a little jar beside me. See, orange drink, lemonade, cream. I think we'll go ahead and just use that orange one. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to do it to myself. I'm not going to look at all the different ones. I'm going to just use this one. That's an old one too. So we could punch a hole in the middle and put a brad where it twists, or just staple it on as a little tab. I think I'll put a brad in it. I cannot find my tiny attacher, y'all. I've probably said that like 100 times in the past week or so. I cannot find my tiny attacher. And I mean, I can use a real stapler. That's what I've been doing, but I love the tiny staples. It just makes me so mad. I've looked everywhere, and I just don't know what I did with it. So I have this container of brads. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay, there's a lot of these, so I'm going to sift through them till I find the perfect boy one, and I'll come right back. All right, so I found, I mean, there were tons of options for boys, but I got these back in the scrapbooky days. And I had a son. So, like, there's baseball, little caterpillar, little army guy. But I thought because this is orange and red, I should either do this little orange flower or I feel like this one's too poofy. It's not that flat. Or this lime green one would be cute. I think I may do this one. All right, y'all. So, I don't even know where I left off. I took a break. It wasn't that long of a break, but it was long enough for my spacey brain to forget what I was doing. Pretty sure that I had put this on and hadn't shared it yet. So a while ago when I went to make coffee, I also put some tea on for my husband. As in, like, you know, to boil the tea bags in the water to make sweet tea. You know, we're from Alabama, which he's trying to cut out the sugar, so we'll say unsweet tea. Anyways, I forgot about it. So, praise the Lord, I went back in there for something, and I heard that water boiling, and I have no idea how long it's been. It had boiled down a lot, and yeah. So, I'm back, and I just attached this with this green brad so it can twist and turn. You know how we love the interactive elements, right? So to cover this up, I usually just use a piece of washi. I mean, you can leave that there, but oh, wait. So I was going to cover it up with a piece of washi or like a little stamp or something, but if I tape it down, it probably won't turn. Let's see. Yeah, it'll still turn. So the stamp is obviously too big. That covers up. Well, that doesn't cover up a whole lot. Let's see. I think this is a sticker. I'm going to stick this down over that. I think these are just little stickers from Temu. But they look vintage. A little ticket. So that's cute. And then, yeah, that'll still twist. So I stamped this right here, and sometimes that doesn't bother me, but today it is, so I'm going to do something to cover up this. I think this Pepper's label will be too skinny. Let's see. I could put a little bit of fabric behind it, or I could put a little pocket down here. Let's see. I think it would be fun to just do a little ticket pocket. And I doubt these are vintage tickets, but, well, I mean, I think you can like buy these, you know, still today, but they're vintage in the sense of I feel like we remember, you know, them using them when we were in school for things. Or, you know, you buy them for all the random events, right? I actually got a roll of these one day at the thrift store for like $2. So I'm just going to make a little pocket out of this. Y'all, I can't talk today. And I'm using Fabri-Tac because this is a thin piece of, it's just copy paper, so you'll be able to see where I glued it with any other type of glue, I feel like. So I like using Fabri-Tac on things like that, where you're going to see through the other side. So that's a cute little pocket there. And I'm just going to stick one of these bright little tags in here so that I will remember that that's a pocket. We'll put a couple of these in here. Oh, that's cute with the little plane. Now, let's see where we want to put a label. I was going to cover up, let's see, what was that earlier? The back of one of these pages. So I thought that was cute, so we put the cream there. So the other side of that is here. I just love this bookmark, y'all. That's just so cute to me. And I feel like I've actually thrown away some cute spines. Surely not. Surely I saved those spines, y'all, when I would, if they were vintage. Maybe they're in there with my, like, chipboard and stuff to make albums from. Like, the Reader's Digest ones, you know, I think those would be super cute to do that with. Surely I didn't throw those away, but, you know, maybe I may have. Ooh, there's several of these. So I'm going to get a leftover strip of paper, of cardstock, that maybe like an offcut from one of these. I've been keeping a little, oh, that's pink. That's from the Cottage Journals. I've been keeping a little bin in front of me, I have this little shelf up on my desk, and I've just been tossing all the offcuts in it so that when I do something like this, I can find them easily and use them. But guess what? This is a whole different journal from what I did. I don't know what I did with the offcuts from this one. If y'all have been watching me since the beginning, you're probably like, is that girl, is she ever gonna be organized? Here's one. And then I have this fun little money, this little coin holder. So I thought about just making a little belly band to cover that. And I left my paper cutting scissors over at my sewing machine. So instead of dulling my dulling my fabric shears, I think it would be fun to rip the edges. But so I had gotten a pair of these pinking shears at an estate sale a few weeks ago, and they're so dull, like they won't cut fabric. So I think that would be fun to use these on this. If any of you know how to sharpen these, I feel like because these are some really old ones that there's a way to sharpen them, but I think they say WISS or WISS, W-I-S-S, for the brand. I mean, why is it so hard for me to buy basic necessities? Like, well, they're not a necessity, but, you know, I've been making journals for, I don't know, 9 years, and still haven't bought me a pair of pinking shears. Still. Like, things like that, like glue, and, of course, I buy glue when I'm out, but I hate it. Like, my husband is like, that's crazy. Like, I've never hated buying fishing lures or shotgun shells, and I'm like, yeah, well, I do. I don't like buying the basic supplies. So my glue is probably a little stopped up here. I've got to order me, well, you know how people make the little stainless steel needle stoppers with the little charm dangles? Like, if you know who makes those, tell me, because see how that rusty, you know, this is like all rusty in there because I keep putting this random I'm thinking the stainless steel does not rust in there. But I would love to order one of those little stoppers. That's what I'm trying to say. The little glue stoppers. So since this paper's a little thicker, I'm fine with using any other type of glue on that. So I keep this giant heavy iron beside me. So I can lay it on things like that so they can dry flat. This would also be cute to do. That page is a little bit too narrow for that, but that would be such a cute little belly band. So do we want to do this or the little coin wrapper? I think I'm going to put a little cheesecloth behind this. Love layering up with some cheesecloth. But it does not take as much as you think. And y'all, Dollar Tree sells this all day long if you ever want to just pick you up some. And it will last you a lifetime, the size that you get for $1.25. So yeah, I'm just going to staple this. Not with my tiny attacher. On here, and then I'm actually gonna use some double-sided tape for this one. But you got to make sure you stick down that cheesecloth too. All right, so just gonna layer this right here. This would be fun to make like a little tiny tag to slide in there. Like maybe one of the little paper flag tags. And then I don't know, she could write like a little memory or a prayer or something and just slide that in there. That'll be fun. And sometimes I like stamping little, just little messages with little tiny stamps on things like that. I think that's fun and adds a sweet little touch. Let's see what this looks like over here. I don't think it would hurt to hang off the edge, and I could always wrap it around would be fun. Oh, let's do that. I'm going to just put it on the edge here and wrap it around. And I'm just going to use a glue stick for that. Y'all, I buy glue sticks all the time, and I don't know what to do with them. Like, I have a place for them. But then when I go to look in that place that they're supposed to be in, they're not. And cannot find my glue sticks. So I'm going to take one of these book pages so I won't get glue all over my mat here. But yeah, I had bought some large glue sticks back in February. I have hardly used them. And I think my desk, how, oh no, my button come off. Uh-oh. You know how like the dryer just eats socks? Kind of like it just ate my desk just ate my glue cap. You know how your dryer eats socks, or it's like we lose our hair ties, like, it's one of those things for me. They just disappear. And so I used to love watching when I first started out. Well, it was probably a couple years in I found her, but I would love watching Cassie dust to roses, and she would always use vintage labels, and she'd wrap them around the edge of the pages, and oh, it was just, I loved that so much. That's probably why I ordered things like the ice cream. Like, I kind of remember her doing something like that and wrapping it around the page. Anyways, I always loved that. My style has totally changed since then. I still love journals like that to watch, like flip throughs and stuff of, but my styles, I mean, you know, you do this for a few years and you finally discover what, it may be just what people buy from you more, or whatever the reason, you know, we just evolve in our styles or find our own style, you know, as you continue to create. But yeah, that's just funny. So I love that, how that's just a little page flag there. And again, I'm not worried about doing something on every single page. This one needs a little something. So, oh, I think this will be fun to wrap this one around, actually. And it may be best to do this being aluminum. I don't know. I wonder if the Fabri-Tac would kind of eat this. I'm going to do this and then back it with maybe some Tombow Mono. I've got to do a little desk reset, y'all. I'm telling you. You get to crafting and you just... I try to, every night before I go to bed, well, I don't craft until bedtime. I craft during the day while my husband's at work. And then if he's home earlier in the day, that day, I'll craft until maybe 4. Craft as in work craft. I don't really play craft much. If I have a free moment on a weekend, sometimes I'll give myself permission to do that. And y'all, I know that's crazy. Like, I've got to start giving myself permission to create for fun, or I'm not going to, you know, you kind of get burnt out on just for work things. But I love doing this, you know, for income. This is fantastic. Selling journals. That was my dream. So, find something you love and make money at it, right? But I've been trying to clean up my space at the end of the day, whenever that may be. But even though I've been tidying up, I still haven't. It's like I won't put everything away, you know, obviously till I'm done with this particular project. So that's super fun. And remember how I said I was going to do both kinds of glue? Well, I didn't. But I feel like that's going to stay. We'll know by the time I do the complete flip through. If it started peeling up, obviously I'll come back and glue it down. Looking for my bone folder. Yeah, I feel like it's going to peel up some, but we'll see. So that's super cute. And then let's see where we want to put the lemon soda. I think I'm going to make a little pocket out of that. That's a different color yellow, but that would be fun. Let's see, let's back this with one of the book pages from the journal. I'm actually going to do it this way so you can see the script. And then I will make a pocket out of it. I'll like kind of layer up some stuff behind it. And in order to do that, for it to last, I probably also need to back it on a file folder. So I'm going to back it on the file folder and make a really sturdy pocket out of this, and I will be right back. All right, so I glued this down on the book page, and then I glued that down on this part of the file folder where the little label goes. And I was going to stitch around the edge, but then I thought, I'm just going to outline it with a stamp. So I got this little wheat, little wheat stamp. I guess that's what that is. You know, I just picture a little boy out running in the field with a wheat stalk in his mouth. But I don't know if you'll be able to tell that's what it is around the edge or not. I'm not going to put the ink all the way down. That's cute. I don't know that this is necessarily the right color, but like we tell our kids, you know, when they're learning to color, use your imagination. You can color a cat pink if you want to use your imagination. That's cute. So the little wheat around the edge instead of the sewing machine. And then I think I'll ink the edges. I'm telling y'all, when I get done with this video, I'm going to take a minute for real and just reset everything. I used to be a very messy person. I wasn't nasty, but I was messy for years, for many, many years. And the older I've gotten, and now that my kids have grown up and moved out, like, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, I did have some health issues. There were reasons why I couldn't keep things super neat all the time, and a lot of it was just mental things through the years. But over the past 4 or 5 years, like, I just can't function in a messy house. Like, it drives me insane. Not saying everything's just all super neat and tidy, but it definitely bothers me, and I try to keep things kind of picked up. So I'm going to use some little tickets just to layer something else here. I've got these, and then I found some of these green ones. White Swan Park, Angela Park Swimming Club. I think I'll stick with like the yellow. Or, I don't know, maybe the green will jump out a little bit more. Let's see. Kind of like the green. I'm loving the whole eclectic feel of this journal. And I literally just put my stamp. Sorry y'all if I'm shaking the table. I have everything stored in my drawers of my desk right in front of me, so I don't think my camera setup is the sturdiest right now. So I'm just going to glue this down right here. I feel like it needs to be layered with something, though. Let's see. Like maybe one of these little... No. Maybe we'll layer a couple of tickets up. Nah, that's just too much going on. And again, I'm laughing at myself because I was going to keep these journals so simple. It would have been cute to put a little milk cap up there too, but So then we're just going to put this down as a pocket. I don't really love those yellows together. Primary boogie. I think that'll work right there. And you know what? I'm going to use double-sided tape for this too. I'm curious if, y'all, I tell you what, I need to get it together today. Right in front of me. So, I love double-sided tape, and I feel like this actually stays, but the little roller type double-sided tapes, I'm scared to use because I have journals that I made years and years ago, like, say, for my mother-in-law, for instance. In fact, I'm going to do a flip through of that really soon. It was a little golden book. She doesn't journal, so I actually created the whole journal as a gift. Like, I went ahead and journaled in it, like put photos and, you know, all of those things. So I got it back from her for a minute because I feel like it would be fun to see, like, many years ago how my style has changed or what I did with that journal. But anyways, I've noticed over the years kind of flipping through it, hanging out at her house, that the little double-sided roller tape things, they come and the sticky wears off, and then your things will just fall off the page, and that annoys me because I love using those. They're simple to use, but whatever brand I bought at that time did not work for sure. But I feel like this double-sided tape actually sticks. I will say, though, that I have found with this sometimes over time in my personal things that sometimes you can see through on the other side as it ages, but this paper's thick enough. I think it'll be fine. So we did a little pocket out of that label. So yeah, let's take a little look at the vintage labels. Well, this was a little vintage ticket. I just stapled it to the top of this library card. And I made a little pocket here too. I need to stick something down in there. There's a super old envelope. I just put some fun journaling cards inside and left that how it was. So use the tickets as a pocket. Just did the little milk cap here. The little coin envelope there. The Peppers label here. I mean, you know, sometimes you just don't have to be super creative for, you know, sometimes I get in my head and I feel like it just has to be perfect and so unique. But sometimes you just literally simply glue it down on the page and it just jumps out and it's just so cute. I guess that's my point of saying it doesn't always have to be so complicated. Which y'all probably know that. Maybe your brain is not like mine and maybe you don't try to overcomplicate things. So I know this was just randomness, but I'm just trying to get used to filming. I have had people ask me to film, you know, my process. That's very hard for me. It's much easier just to do a flip through, you know, or share what I've done. But I'm really trying to get more comfortable again and do things with y'all. I used to do that, but it's been a while. So I hope you enjoyed this and just check back for the completed flip through. It will be up sometime soon. And honestly, it may be up before these videos come. We will see. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching and you have a great day. Bye.